on? Okay, thanks for coming. Nice to be here with everybody. How you doing? Pretty good. All right. Shall we? Who's doing this? Who's doing this for the first time ever? All right, cool. Great. Thanks for coming. It's no big deal, ultimately. It's just like some exercises. And more or less, you know what I'm saying? It's mostly just, it doesn't matter like how elevated you are or not elevated you are. We're all in human bodies. And we all got to deal with that. And we all have a mind, and we all got to deal with that. And those are the same, the body is the inner terrain, the tissue layers of the body is the inner terrain of the mind as well. In part, it's like a substratum for the mind. That's why if sometimes you can like go on a run and was in a bad mood before I went on a run, and now I'm in a good, I don't ever go on a run, but I imagine that's what would happen. I'm just playing. Sometimes I'll go play basketball or things like that. But you won't find me like running around that lake in Oakland or anything like that. So anyhow, the life is difficult sometimes, isn't it? It's an ordeal to be here. Like it takes work to keep depression at bay and despair at bay. And that's what Kundalini Yoga is for. More than anything is how do you live in a human body on planet Earth and consistently have joy? I can't keep pain away, but it's keep suffering away. And those are a little different. How do I strengthen the force of my happiness and strengthen the force of my contentment and strengthen the force of my ability to experience joy in life? Because I think we discover, if you investigate closely enough, that even when we're in pain or in like great sadness, if you go deeper enough inside of that sadness, there's joy there, interestingly. You found it ever inside of that deep sorrow? There's another way of saying it is there's love there. When you're in pain, prayers become really powerful. And so the question becomes is, have I generated for myself a type of mental strength or caliber that allows me to experience love even when I'm in difficult times? Now, I don't know what's the next coming years on planet Earth are going to be like, just like you don't know what the next coming years on the planet Earth are going to be like. I'm not going to I'm not going to bet that it's going to be smooth. So, but I don't have control of that anyways. So what I can control, though, is the one that is experiencing it and the one that is interacting with it, whatever it is. And so therefore, I need to make sure that I have a psyche that is able to interact with difficult things in a way that still produces creativity, love. Creativity is what human life is all about. And so if we're not finding a way to be creative in our life, we're going to get depressed, period. You know what I'm saying? It's like creativity can come in an infinite variety of forms. It's like landscaping your yard and like making it a little more beautiful than it is great use of creativity. It's not just about like, oh, let's make my yard look great to impress the neighbors. Who cares about the neighbors? Well, we care about them, but we don't care what they think of us. You know what I'm saying? It's an act of worship, in my mind. I know we don't like to typically use like that word in terms of landscaping our yards. And sometimes nowadays in terms of much of anything. And that's for good reason, perhaps, especially if we came up through like a Judeo-Christian background like myself, and perhaps a distorted variety of that, let's call it medicine. All of it's medicine, but sometimes it's like gets adulterated. And there's no bad paths. Sometimes we gotta make sure we're getting into the essence of the path. Otherwise, they can be very dangerous. Of course, like more bloodshed over paths than anything else. And so the disease of a path, sometimes paths become what we call religion. The disease of a path is when it becomes, it is invaded by the virus of superiority complex. And so now, like, my path is the only path. And if you're not down with my path, get the out of here, you know? Or if you don't, I'll make sure. Or you join my path, or you'll be slaughtered. That's the history of religion in our world, the dark side of it. There's also a light side of it, a beautiful side of it too, both. And so, don't mean to start off all heavy, but I guess I did. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? We Jews, we got that superiority complex. Everybody does. All of them do. Sikhs got it. Hindus got it. Buddhists got it. No, not the Buddhists. Yes, they got it too. Everybody got it. You know, it's either swinging from one side of the pendulum to the other. Inferiority complex, superiority complex. Now, all right, now we can take it more to a microcosm. It's the same thing with our own psyche, isn't it? Swinging from one of those two pendulums. Superiority complex, you know. Us vegans got it. Vegetarians got it. Clearly, if you're not a vegetarian, lower form of the species. Of course not. It was supposed to be a joke. But does that thought travel through the vegetarian community? Of course it does. Does that thought travel through the community of yogis and meditators? Of course it does. Right? But it's misplaced. You know, it's non-usable energy. It doesn't mean that same wave of energy couldn't be transformed into a more useful form. But that will require on the energetics of the organism in which that wave of energy is traveling through. Does that make sense? Because that's what a thought is. A thought form is a wave of energy. And so when the mind is overly dense, then when that wave of energy passes through the psyche, we'll make the assumption, the incorrect assumption, that we generated that wave of energy. You see what I mean? So, in other words, that was an awfully strange way of saying that we believe that we are the generators of our thoughts that we think. And so, therefore, that's, you know, yogi lesson kind of numero uno is if I am believing that my thoughts are generated by me, I'm in big trouble. Because I'm going to generate all sorts of thoughts. And some of them don't have to do with what I really am. In fact, probably most of them. So thought isn't something that's being generated from the being itself, but rather think of it in this fashion. Think of the human organism as like a psyche. The whole thing is a psyche. The body, what we call the mind, but also electromagnetic field, the subtle body, etc. It's just like one kind of psycho-energetic vehicle. Seems to be what it is. And even our science is getting more and more closer to kind of perceiving it in that fashion. That's how the yogis have perceived it for thousands of years. I was just reading Yogi Bhajan. He said in 1961, America realized that the law of vibration, he's talking about really in this part of America is where that happened. Yeah, isn't that funny? I've been on a little road trip all week. Some teaching, some going to see some music. And so I drove in last night and went to go see Bobby Weir in Napa, and I feel like I shouldn't have to say this in Berkeley, but I will, who is a founding member of the Grateful Dead, and very much carrying the living energy of the Grateful Dead, among others. And so then I drove into Berkeley last night and went into my hotel. I turned it on, and it was the TV on, and it was on CNN. And then on CNN, within like 3 minutes of me turning the TV on, you know that CNN has those things where they do the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, these kind of documentaries on different decades. So the 60s was on, and they were kind of getting into the Woodstock part of it. And within 3 minutes, the shot was a bunch of hippies at Woodstock going on CNN. And because if you ever seen the Woodstock movie, there's like a segment of it with a Kundalini yoga class. And so I'm the type of person that's always paying attention to omens and synchronicities, because I found that my experience is that life is communicating all the time. And it's not, oh, what does that mean? It just means keep going, you know? Good, you're in the right flow. You're in the bardo. You're in the space of things that's useful to be in, essentially. And beyond that, I personally don't intellectualize it too much. So anyhow, if the thought stream that is passing through is understood a little differently, like this whole thing is a psyche. The whole creation's like the macro psyche, and then your vehicle is like a micro psyche, and you're interacting with it all the time. And so therefore, sometimes I'm going to have some strange thoughts. Sometimes I'm going to have negative thoughts. Sometimes I'm going to have maybe even perverted thoughts. What's that a sign of? You're a normal human being. So maybe a better semantic would be I'm going to experience negative thoughts as opposed to I'm going to have. Because the question always becomes what streams of energy that are flowing through your life in terms of thoughts, in terms of emotions, in terms of desires and experiences. Are you with me? What waves of energy are flowing through your life that you're just going to discard as non-useful, and which ones are you going to kind of take on that are useful? The ones you take on that are useful are the ones that vibrate properly with your sense of what you are, your sense of identity. You following? Now, when you start messing around with things like Kundalini yoga, it creates a problem. And what's the fundamental problem it creates? Your sense of identity changes. It doesn't make you something you're not, but it gives you a more expansive experience of what you are. That's why it makes you more of what you are, actually, because it expands the field of awareness. I try to explain it so it doesn't sound like too esoteric new age, because to me this doesn't feel esoteric. It feels very practical. When your sense of awareness, we would like a bigger sense of awareness, wouldn't we? Because we'd rather be able to see like what is real versus what is not real, what is true versus what is false, what is love versus what is fear, and so on and so forth. And in order to do that, I have to have a large enough field of awareness that's able to do that relatively well. It's got to be, that key word in there is what? Relatively well. Because it has to be relative to where I'm currently at, not where somebody else is. You see? Everything's just about me, and for you, it's you and you. And so I'm not trying to get somewhere where someone else is. I'm trying to experience me. And furthermore, what is that me? It's the nucleus. What the yogis call Atma is the nucleus of the organism, the non-dying force that vibrates in the center of all beings. That we call the soul, in simple language. And if I don't have experience of the Atma, the me within the me, then I can't have experience of Paramatma. And Paramatma means the beyond the beyond, is what in the science of religion they might call God. You see what I'm saying? And so that is a macro mind, the field of energy that this kind of micro vehicle is, this micro psyche is interacting with the macro psyche. Making sense? That's why I'll pay attention if like, oh, what a coincidence. They're doing Kundalini yoga on CNN the night before I come into Berkeley to teach a Kundalini. Well, fine, you know. You either live in the world of density or in the world of subtlety. And who knows? My experience is it's way more fun to live in the world of subtlety. It's way more interesting. It produces more joy. It produces more love. And to me, that's what defines what is real, is that which produces love. That's how we figure it out. And so not only is it this micro-psyche that's interacting with a macro-psyche, but what is the energy that is underneath all of it? That's the discovery. Not just the interaction, but what is the energy that's generating it? I think it's love. But that's your job to figure out what it is and to verify it. And that's my job. This is what I sense is the case. Now I have to verify it. And that's the journey of a human life. Which is why it's useful to do things like make your front yard beautiful if you got one. I realize we're in a city, not everybody has a front yard. So, but exercise creativity in whatever stream of activity that is inspiring or potentially could be inspiring for you. You may not feel inspiration, so sometimes you gotta like struggle it until it happens. But if there's not if there's not creativity being exercised rather consistently, that's the whole reason I went to Southern California, to see that Dead show down there, and then Middle California, and then Northern California, because it's one of many things that I do, this being another, that keeps me connected to the flow of creativity. And that's how you're becoming godlike, is making creativity the primary kind of force that flows through your life. But in what context? The context of your unique dharma. You see what I'm saying? So for me, as like truly a devotee of the sound current, then like that's why I'll go and like, this is not some encouragement to do what I do. I'm just explaining what I do as an example of one person. Yours is going to be you. But that's why I'll go out of my way, and people like, really, you're going all that way to do that just one show or whatever, to get into like that field of, for instance, a Grateful Dead stream. And most people hear that and they think like, oh, LSD, da 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 da. But that's not what that movement was about. Those were catalysts. What it was about a field of consciousness that awakened and was activated on the planet. In a nod, a stream of sound, a sound current that within it has the real essence of human life. And so, as a devotee, as a yogi, especially a Kundalini yogi, devotee of the sound wave, sound current. And so therefore, when I can get inside of that field, and I interact with it in the way that I want to interact with it. There's a lot of ways people interact with it. The majority of folks got like beers in their hands and having a great time and fine, but I don't get down like that. Like that's not me. It's not my path. It's not going to be in service. That would make me miserable. Because ultimately, it would make me miserable because that's not dharmically me. That's not the wave of this one's life. And so therefore, I got to find that pocket of like weird folks. You know what I mean? Probably if folks are looking at me strange, I'm probably doing what I'm supposed to be doing. There's some regard. So anyhow, it connects me to it, because that's 50 plus years of concentrating creative energy within a single stream of consciousness. Now, I'm not even 40 years old. So if I can get around something that's been cultivated in a fairly profound way for 50 plus years, to me that's valuable. You see what I mean? When a life force has been concentrated and intelligence applied to it and devotion applied to it fairly consistently for a long amount of time, something beautiful is going to happen. What does life want you to do? It wants you to be intelligent about something. And not too many things. You see what I mean? That which you are uniquely designed to be intelligent about. Making sense? These are the types of things I would have liked to have been taught earlier in my life. Like starting at like 9, 8, 7, certainly before the ego of the teenager erupts. And then even during that part too, but hopefully we've made some headway before the ego of a teenager gets too strong. Because Dharma is not difficult to understand. It's very simple. It's difficult for us later when we went through our lives without a real sense of it. Then we try to go outside of ourselves to try to find it. What is my purpose here? You can't find it outside of yourself. It's everything about what you are. It's the reason you look the way you look. It's the reason you have the type of personality that you have. It's the reason you have the type of interests and passions that you have. It's the reason why you have the type of neuroses and limitations that you have. It's as much as it's the reason why you're really good at certain things, it's equally the reason why you really suck at other things. You see what I mean? Like, I love basketball, but I'm not that good. I can get down in like a adult rec league, but if I would have been good, I could have actually spent more of my focused time on it as a young person, but as much as I wanted to be good, I wasn't very good, relative to some of the other fellas that were just designed to be that way, So what is it? What is the design of you? That's all. And there's nothing you have to do. You don't have to change your job. You see what I'm saying? It's just find something creative to do today, tomorrow, next weekend, that at the moment you feel fairly interested in. You see what I'm saying? And that'll either it's not about like, oh, that must be the thing. Stop thinking like that, in my opinion. It's just like, stay in the moment, enjoy life. Be creative. But therefore, I need to make sure I'm generating the energy to enjoy life, to be creative, and to not be overpowered or dominated by the forces of depression and by the tornadoes of anxiousness and by the fires of resentment and anger. You see what I mean? Those are forces in life. And you're going to be a vehicle for one force or another. Question is, what am I going to be a vehicle for? The 60s is a good show to watch on CNN. A lot of the other shit isn't, in my opinion. Because if that stuff stays on, and I'm probably preaching to the choir here, but occasionally I'll go and visit our family and relatives, and they'll keep that stuff on. And so therefore, it's like, what are you going to be a vehicle for? That which you're paying attention to most consistently. So it's very simple, is that this mind, this psyche is an instrument. It's going to be tuned to one thing or another. What is it that I'm tuning it to? Take a little time in the mornings. Generate energy in your body. That'll help you get your mind to be clear. Go as best as possible, as consistently as possible, into a meditative space. Ideally once per day. It's not that big of a deal. It's not about some seeing some sort of galactic being at your third eye. It's just really very simply neutralize. If you see that, fine. But it's not indicative of anything in particular. Neutralize the psyche, neutralize the mind. That's what the meditative mind is. And you'll come out of that feeling like, I sense what I'm about. I might not be able to define it. I might not be able to know what I'll be doing 2 years from now. But I have a sense of what I want to do today. You see what I mean? I have a sense of how I want to live today. Be kind. Do I have the power enough in me to consistently be kind? These are the real powers that'll carry you. The other stuff, I don't know. I know kindness works. Genuine kindness, where it doesn't require that much willpower. That takes hard work, doesn't it? To keep yourself in such a state where the love within you is so substantial that kindness flows from you. Sometimes kindness is fierce, though. It depends on the relationship. If you have a child, a son, daughter, and they are a teenager, sometimes you need fierce kindness, don't you? It's kind to help a person out. And if that's being motivated by love, it can look in any variety of ways. It doesn't mean soft all the time. Sometimes it's hard. It's painful to discipline our kids sometimes in ways they need to be disciplined in, but ultimately it's flow of love. But then if I don't have the emotional intelligence to be able to teach to my son in a way that isn't kind of bursting with anger and my own subconscious agendas and my own personal traumas that came out of my childhood now projecting on our kids. No, we don't do that, do we? You know what I'm saying? This is human life. So it's just like, all right, recalibrate. Get the perspective back together. Do something consistently that keeps the mind and the heart connected to what is real and what is true. And move from that space. You'll always be good. One day at a time. Just doing our best to love. This technology gives you capacity to do it really well. But it takes a lot of time, unfortunately. That's what we never put in our marketing. We wait till you get here. It's going to take longer than we said on the flyer. Not really. You'll have a big experience just today. But that'll only last for so long. You know what I'm saying? Then it'll be up to you and I to keep it going. That's why we created Life Force Academy, which we're streaming into right now. So people, no matter where they are, can have a steady, consistent practice and keep it connected, fresh. Because I can do the practice a lot, but if I'm not keeping the mind connected to the bigger reasons, like we're talking about, just one variety of them, to why I'm doing it, the chances of me being consistent aren't very good. And consistency is the key. It is the magic ingredient. Everybody wants to know, what kriya do I do for this? What meditation do I do for this? Just be consistent with any of them. Ultimately, and there's a place for, all right, tune it with this one instead of that one. Definitely. But sometimes that's overemphasized. Connect the mind to the bigger reasons of why I'm doing meditation work, yogic work in the first place. That means I need to be connected to my pain. I need to be connected to my gain, my aspiration, my dharma. Those two things are the two motivating powers of a human being. Your pain and your gain. Those are the reasons why. Not because Kundalini's good, you should do it, da-da-da-da-da-da. No, that's not why. The reason is because I've only got so much time here. And my job is to experience love and joy and fulfillment in my lifetime before my lifetime is over. As soon as I came out of my mom's womb, the hourglass got flipped over. And the hour of this lifetime has been in motion of expiration ever since. What is it that we're doing? Out of wrestling with that darkness, you'll find joy. You won't become more scared and more scared and more scared. You'll get more love and more love and more love. Cool? All right, let's roll. If there's those of you newer to this stuff, if there's any things you're not quite sure about, I'll do my best to explain everything you need to know, but I might do poorly. So if there's anything that's not clear, just don't worry about it. If you're newer to this, really today is just to get an experience of it and have a sense of like, do I vibe with this or not? If you like it and it works for you, you can learn all the details later on. Today's just about not worrying too much about the nuts and bolts, but together, let's get lifted. And let's make our energy real strong, because the force of adversity is real strong. And so we need to make sure our vitality is at least as strong as the stress of our lives. So that's what we're here to do. Put the powerful winds of good energy behind your sails. So then you can leave and then feel like you got energy to spend. You see what I'm saying? It's like putting money in the account. But you need to keep putting money in the account because you'll use this. You know what I'm saying? And how do you do that? You do a practice. A little bit of practice. Come to Leah's class a couple times a week, you know. And, all right, let's tune in. Come like here. Inhale deep. Exhale. Inhale again. Exhale. Now deep inhale. Suspend the breath. And then rectum, sex organ, navel up and in. And heart wide open. And gaze into your third eye space. And exhale. And do that again. Inhale deeply. And then the rectum, sex organ, navel. And the two eyes into the single point between the eyebrows, where the root of the nose meets your skull bone. Exhale. And push all your breath out, out, out. And hold the breath out, suspend it out. Lift out your chest, drop the shoulders, tuck the chin, gaze upward. Lift up through the perineum, root lock. Inhale. And again, push the breath out. Suspend the breath out. Suspension of the breath out and then invoking the meditative mind helps to conquer fear of death, which is a root of most all fears. Inhale. Suspend the breath in and become very relaxed with a meditative gaze, knowing everything is just fine. Even if you don't believe that, fake it for a moment. And exhale. Push all your breath out. Lift up the perineum. Gaze the third eye. Lift the heart. Deeper inhale. Now hold the posture, prayer pose, and let the breath relax. And let the breath just flow naturally. Exhale, and then just let the body breathe naturally without you making it longer or anything. Just with your mind, for a few moments, observe and watch your organism respirate. Notice it. How does that happen? Just let the body breathe. Don't interfere with it at all. Don't make it meditative or anything. Just, it may be meditative, but don't touch the breath. Let your organism just do its thing. Fascinating. In a moment, we'll put a sound onto that, and it'll vibrate into the frontal lobe. And then in the heart center, thymus gland. Namo. And then maybe a sip of air will come in. And then from your navel, Guru. And it'll lift the energy up, Dev. Guru Dev. And ending in the heart again. Namo. Namo, they usually translate I bow. What is that, though? That means I make myself a vessel, a vehicle for, is what that is. What is that Ong? That Ong is the force of creativity, but the force of the creativity as it flows through the infinite energy, the non-dying force. Ong, that's what that ong is. The force of creativity. That's what life does, is it creates things. And Namo is, I'm going to be a vehicle for that. Gurudev. Gurudev is that which draws you into the current of your purpose, the dharmic wind. It's what they call the divine. Namo, I'll make myself a vehicle for that. Inhale. Exhale. Let's move, huh? Come on to the hands and knees. Let's get the body moving. Feel great. So you're going to come cat-cow, inhaling. The head is coming up. Exhaling, the head is going down. And when mostly you're making a nice, supple rhythm, like you're making the spine supple. It's not so much to train to make the deepest stretch, but it's putting the breath into your body. Close your eyes down, and create a rhythm, and make your spine supple. Inhaling, the head is up. Exhaling, the head is coming down. Through the nose, breathe. And go your own pace, your own rhythm. Have your own experience. Try to forget about your surroundings. Other than maybe looking to Leah or others if you need to see how the exercise is done. Or myself if I happen to be doing it.
All I'm thinking, always thinking.
And now breathe. And all right, lighten your load with your breath. And use your mind to create a positive projection that can overpower the negative energies that have been causing us some misery. Overpower them with your breathing. Your doubts, your worries, the depressions.
In meditation forever, in meditation forever, quiet peace cannot be found.
another 60 seconds.
The wealth of another and all our cleverest ideas will still return when we meet there, and we return when we meet there. Where is the purity? Where is the purity in the labyrinth of falsehood? Where is the purity? Where is the purity in the labyrinth of falsehood? Where is the purity? Where is the purity?
And inhale deep. And draw your gaze, third eye.
Where is the purity? Where is the purity?
Now exhale, head down, push all your breath out, arch up the spine, push all the breath out, and pull the navel in towards the spine. Good, relax for a few moments, forehead to the floor, and butt back to the heels. And relax the jaw, relax the tongue, relax the upper body as best as you can. If that posture can't get, you can use a bolster, just bring the head to the floor, it doesn't matter how.
Where is the purity? Where is the purity in the labyrinth of falsehood?
Beautiful. Come sitting up on the heels.
Where is the purity?
If it's uncomfortable for you to sit on the heels, use a bolster between your two legs, or put a cushion or a blanket folded up between your butt and your heels. Did I say that right? Yeah, butt and your heels.
Where is the purity in the labyrinth of
Like that.
falsehood?
Chest out, chin in, and then like this rhythm together. This one,
Where is
okay?
the purity?
Sut,
Where is the purity in the labyrinth of falsehood?
Yeah, make the breath deep and the mind meditative. Third eye gaze. Sut, na, sut, na, sut, na, sut, na, sut, na, sut, na, sut. And ride that rhythm. Deeper the breathing, please. Stay with it. Third eye. Na, sut, na, sut, na, sut, na, sut, na, sut, sut. Almost, but stay present. Sut. Listen to the breath. Go very still. Rectum, sex organ, navel, up and in. Draw the gaze between the two eyebrows, and for just a moment be completely empty, still. Exhale. Amazing. See what I mean? It's not that difficult. Like, you could do that in the mornings, you know? you could get outside the Life Force Academy even better and just play and like let me guide you through it. And then more likely to do it with a little juice. All right, now like this, come back easy pose. How many people have taken classes with me before? Awesome. How many are in the Life Force Academy? That's pretty good. So the idea, though, is the most important moment of every one of these exercises is the end. It's like inhale deep. Because as soon as you start moving your prana, your life force, with your breath, by putting your gaze into the pituitary point, third eye, your subconscious will be provoked. You're cleaning the psyche, and what that means is purification of the subconscious mind. And so during the exercise, you may feel like agitated, you may feel blissful, and anything in between. That's par for the course. That's like we're watching those thoughts flow through us like clouds going across the sky. Now, if we're very emotionally agitated at the time, then it's not really like beautiful clouds flowing through the sky, isn't it? It's like you're trying to hang on during a thunderstorm. But in any case, watching it go by as much as you can watch it without engaging it emotionally, as much as possible. Sometimes it's not possible. You with me? Then at the very end, you inhale deep, suspend, get out of the way. Go third eye. Root lock is lifted. Be still. Heart open. And then exhale. That's called neutralization of the psyche. The negative force swings, the positive force swings. That's why in, out, left, right, forward, back, female, male. Good, bad, positive, negative. Within the Kriya, you're provoking the polarity. But the ultimate endeavor is to neutralize, because the neutralization is meditation. Neutralization of the mind is strengthening the meditative force of the mind. Meditative force of the mind does not look like this. Meditative force of the mind looks like a human being doing whatever a human being does. This, what we see with meditation, is taking care of the meditative mind. But the meditative mind is the most important function of the human psyche. So as I'm talking to my kid, I want to be flowing it through that creative flow that moves through the meditative mind. Make sense? There's all sorts of creative flows, only the one that moves through the meditative mind is going to be ultimately going to produce the most benefit. So that's why this is not about like some like new age or overly esoteric thing. This is about, in order to me and as a human being to have fulfillment and success in my life, that's a necessity. It's not a luxury for those of us that live in Nevada City and Berkeley, you know? So like this now, like this, fingers in front, thumbs in the back, chest is open, and root lock is in. And I'm going to go inhale left, exhale right. Again. Difficult for you to sit like this, use a cushion or a blanket or a bolster to prop yourself up. Now deeper the breath, please. The posture important, but put even more emphasis on the breathing.
Still we're thinking
move up. Open not only is it you're working the spine, but breathe into the center channel of the body, the subtle body. Relax your face. There you go. And in about 15 seconds, you're gonna inhale to the center and go empty and be like a neutralized vessel. Like you're gonna be like an antenna. An emptied vessel. To the center, your deepest inhale. Third eye, root lock, chest out, stillness. Exhale. And relax the hands to the knees. Chest stays lifted. And so it's an inhale up, exhale, release. Nam, sat, nam, or double time that. Every exhale is the stress, tension in your upper back, neck, shoulders. Through the nose breathe, yeah? It'll work. It can be slower if that's too quick. It can just be sat, nam, sat. Or it can be sat, nam, sat, sat, nam, sat. Inhale, squeeze up. Squeeze out the tension. Exhale. Beautiful. Good. Okay? You're gonna now like this. Index finger to your thumb. Then hands on the knees, palms facing up. And the tongue is gonna be out. And it's like a panting, like a stick the tongue out and purify the lungs. It'll stimulate your immune system. And it'll get you real high too. Just do your best. Third eye gaze, third eye gaze. Yes, keep up. Almost there, but not there yet, so just go. It makes you cough, that's good. The mouth, inhale. Now press the underside of your tongue, roof of the mouth. Press hard, squeeze your spine, exhale. Inhale. Under tongue, roof of your mouth, press. And then look into the third eye. Press it strong, squeeze your spine. Exhale. Then one more, inhale. under tongue, roof of your mouth. Squeeze tight, press. Relax. Good. Raise your arms up like this. Inhale, and then vigorously shake. Shake that energy you just created or generated into all the parts of your body, like every cell. Just like move, and also just shake out this stagnant stuff. Your lymph loves this kind of thing. Your lymph doesn't have a pump like your blood does, but over 80% of your immune system's in your lymph. So the only way to move it is you got to move. Or you're like privileged enough to get a massage like once a week type thing. But most of us don't do that, so we got to like exercise. Or you get one of those dry brushes before you get in the shower. Why not? Not that expensive. And you dry brush your skin. Your lymph will benefit. Keep going. We're not done. And then you jump in a cold shower and vigorously massage yourself in a cold shower. Your lymph is great. And then also your skin will look great. Bonus. And you'll feel great. But nobody wants to do a cold shower. Everybody just wants a hot shower. Relax. Wow, good job. All right. Come standing, please. All right, it's an index finger to thumb. And you're going to be marching. So it's like that. See how she's doing it? Na, sa. Inhale up, exhale down. That breath needs depth. A single point to look at and just meditate on that point. Doesn't matter what it is. Deeper the breath. The rhythm. Index finger is connected to your thumb. Get the knees up to hip height. Yes. It's the equinox. You gotta like shift your whole energy. The body, the mind, the magnetism. That takes a little bit of work. It's like whales migrate across the ocean. Birds travel hemispheres. We like push the thermostat a couple notches up, a couple notches down. Stretch up, inhale. Amazing, exhale. Feeling good? Well, maybe not yet, but now face this side of the room here. And then, like Leah is, arms are out, fingers are tight, legs are strong, friends. Hey, this looks like a stretch. It's only secondarily a stretch. This is core strengthening. This is vitality development. So you're gonna inhale here, and then as you come down, you exhale like she is there. Then she's using her core strength and her navel to lift up on your inhalation. So inhale up, exhale down. Use the strength of your legs and the strength of your core to lift you on your inhalation. And when you inhale, fill your lungs. Doing this at home, work harder. You don't have this whole big group, you know? It's like, don't be too comfortable at home. Like, put some more energy into it. Feels good when you pull that navel in every inhale. Deeper the breathing, go. Inhale up, strong fingers, strong legs. Exhale, relax. Come face forward, and then feet are just shoulder width apart. Arms are up, fingers are tight, and again the lymph. You just need on your toes. Jump, 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 jump. Very long, but do your best.
There's a seed to grow, you have got to be.
Almost done. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale. Good. Come on your back for just a few moments. Good. Just for a couple of minutes, just relax and let your body adjust. Let the sound current wash over you, you know? It's power, it's healing, it's uplifting, and it uplifts the energy. Be more of a vehicle and less of like gripping onto that imaginary steering wheel.
In just a glance.
It's like, how can I serve better?
In just a glance.
The eyes close and just let the intelligence and the love that permeates all things move through you, take care of you.
In just a glance. In love. In love.
remember how to just let your body respirate. Just let that which rotates the earth take care of you. The more you can get out of the way, the more the body stays healthy. Let the intelligence that has created you take care of you. Inhale. Exhale. Very nice. Now, bring your feet together, not lying out. You might have to, depending how much space you have. You're lying straight. Yeah, Leah already knows what's going on. So, stretch pose. I don't know if everyone can see Leah, but it'll be like this. Ladies, if you're on your, I'll demonstrate as well. If you're on your moon cycle now, then when we do breath of fire or these navel exercises, just relax. And so it's a 6 inches up, head and the legs, toes pointed, eyes on the toes. It's a daily thing for me. I don't miss it. So it's like that. Now if you keep your root lock in, even glutes strong, legs strong, chest lifted, it'll help some. It's hard though, if you don't do it, but then if you do it all the time, it's not hard. That's just how life is, right? Things are hard. You haven't done much yet. It's not that big of a deal. But if it was like gonna help me, then I'll use it. So that's what we'll be doing. And so first try the breath of fire, but you'll just be on your back. So like this. Let's try it like this. So take a first inhale without the posture, please. Inhale deep. And just on your back, like inhale. Relax. So it's just it'd take a little practice, but if you keep your face relaxed as much as you can, keep your mind relaxed, and then power the breath and power your navel. You can. The way to generate power is to generate it while keeping the mind totally calm. All right. First, take a deep inhalation in. Fully exhale. And again, inhale deep. Exhale fully. Come into the stretch pose. If it strains your back, take your hands into fists and put them under your butt. And go. Eyes on the toes. Legs strong, glutes engaged, perineum lifted up, and then lift through your chest. Activate the navel center below your belly button. Inhale deep. relax. Okay, that was round one. This is fundamental. Of all the channels that your prana, your chi moves through, they all begin just below your belly button at the navel. So your vital energy is generated from the navel, where you were. So as in your mother's womb, you were given life force via the umbilical cord. But then, once the umbilical cord is cut, that comes via the navel power. So 72,000 nadis, channels, begin at your navel point and end at the fingers and toes. Those are the strings of your instrument. And so that's why a great martial artist with seemingly little force can like break tremendous things, because they learn how to access and develop the energy at their navel center. And stretch pose will do that for you, but our endeavor is not to break things unless we're interested in breaking the dense structures of the subconscious, which keep us depressed or keep us anxious and insecure and keep us miserable. Those are worth breaking, and the navel power will give you the energy that, if it's then well directed, can absolutely do that. If I'm a depressed person, that means there's a dominant structure within my subconscious mind that my energy has to flow through before it gets to my awareness, and therefore it gets cloaked in a depressive frequency. And so then I'll generate thoughts that will support that. I will experience thoughts that will support that depressive frequency. See, I knew today was gonna suck. You see what I mean? So what is the structure through which your mind is operating? And can you create it diamond-like? So it's just like the pure energy of the soul. And take a deep inhale and exhale fully. One more inhale deeply. Exhale fully. Stretch pose, inhale. Powerful breath of fire. Keep the mind and face relaxed, but the breath powerful. Pull up through your perineum. Legs, glutes engaged. Chest, sternum lifted. There you go. Give yourself a strong foundation to work with. Then move the breath. And your abs will look great. Bonus. Almost. Now come in the posture, hold the posture. Now pull the navel, perineum up, now navel in. So it shakes, pull, pull, relax. Amazing, relax, relax. Relax really well. Hug the knees into your chest. Beautiful. And bring your nose up towards your knees. And then exhale, relax your shoulder blades down the back. Otherwise squeeze tight, but keep those shoulder blades relaxed down the back so you're not creating tension in the shoulders. You got it? Now inhale deep. called tuning the instrument and alleviating the king of disease at the seat of disease. The king of disease is the vata, the erratic energy, arrhythmic energy, and its seat is in your large intestine. And its nature is cold and non-rhythmic. And you're applying breath of fire and rhythm. And it's going to alleviate the tension upper back so that then your prana can flow more easily into the higher centers of the psyche. That gives you joy. Inhale. Squeeze up tight, relax. Fantastic, relax all the way. Be filled with rhythm. And then hug the knees to the chest. And rock and roll a few times. It's like massaging the spine. Easy pose, and you're gonna come aura charge. So that means your thumbs are out and fingers are tucked in like that. Okay? Hold up, folks, hold up. So let's start together. Come with your arms up 60 degrees and then draw your root lock in. Chest lifted, shoulders release. Gaze into your third eye. It's nice to set a foundation. All right, now, and you see arms extended, shoulders released, heart out. Inhale. Now, two eyes become one eye. Draw the eyes up and in, where the root of the nose meets your skull bone. Eyes closed. Meditative mind. Now, within a matter of time, within this 3-minute experience, you will want to exit the posture. Unless there's already pre-existing injury, endeavor to not leave the posture, because it will create enough pressure, or as much as you can keep your attention goes, your prana flows. Attention into the third eye space, and you're lifting the life force from the navel. You keep your arms up at a 60-degree angle. Your magnetic field will expand. That life force will lift up into the higher centers. And your whole field is strengthened and expanded. And it's a 3-minute only. No bend in your elbow. The breath powerful, the face relaxed, the mind relaxed. Do your best. Lift up through the perineum. Less than a minute. Chest out, shoulders release, arms extended. Stay with it. Now, more power with the breath. Imagine a beautiful, brilliant light connecting the two thumbs. Deeper you concentrate, brighter it becomes. Imagine the whole nucleus of the spine emanating a brilliant energy field in all directions. And expand as far as you can imagine. 10 seconds, go. Thumbs come, touch, fingers go tight, wide, gaze upward, under tongue, roof of the mouth, rectum, sex organ, navel, up and in, inhale some more, stretch up, hold the posture, retain the posture and exhale, inhale deep, stretch up, release the shoulders, touch the ceiling, root lock up and in. Hold the posture, exhale. Last one, inhale. Roll the eyes up as if you're looking out the crown of your head. Relax. Okay, so this workshop ends when? So we have this the rest of this class is a pineal gland workout, and I think you'll love this. The pineal gland, yeah, take some water, act like you're normal. Fake it. Normal people don't show up to this. Well, but or not. I'm not personally going for normal. If normal we're defining status quo, what a drag. Status quo. As my teacher used to say, be absolutely extraordinarily. Or he said, no, absolutely, excellently abnormal. Okay. Not normal to have that level of radiance. Not normal to have that much happiness. It's not. So be that abnormal. Okay, now. This next sequences only take us 3 exercises, 9 minutes total. And then after that, you're laying on your back. Then after that, we'll take a little break, like 10-minute break. Then after that, we'll come back and really opening the 10th gate. All right, this will get us close. And so these 3 exercises, all 3 of them, your eyes are on tip of your nose. Like that. So if you're not used to this, you look at your index finger until you touch your nose. There it is. And make you put a pressure on your pituitary gland and opening the 3rd eye. It's a little difficult if you're not used to it. But the key eventually, once you are a little practiced with it, is to relax it. See if you can relax into it. If you have to push too hard, it's not sustainable. Okay? But it'll cause your pituitary to secrete into the blood. And that'll give power to your brain. That causes your life force to concentrate into the central nervous system. Typically, in normal conditions, life force is scattered about in the periphery of the organism, peripheral nervous system. And that causes us to be more arrhythmic, non-rhythmic, erratic, causes the mind to move excessively quick, which would then causes insecurities and anxiousness to dominate. Make sense? So when your life force concentrates in the center channel, center of the organism, central nervous system, then it tends to move rhythmically and slowly. When it's in the periphery of the organism, it tends to move erratically and arrhythmically and quicker. You see? The more quickly your life force is moving in that non-rhythmic sense, the faster the aging process is happening. The age is not measured by, from a yogi's perspective, not measured by the number of years you've been alive, but the number of breaths that you've taken. And so, therefore, the slow the breath down slows the mind down. We want to have and therefore also you age. That's why long-time yogic practitioners, generally speaking, look pretty good. And so, if we can slow the breath down habitually, then the mind slows down habitually. Life tends to work better. So this is not that complicated. You see? It doesn't mean it's easy, but it's not complicated. Like, that would have been cool to learn that in like PE in like 5th grade, you know what I'm saying? Like, teach me from that context. All right? So your eyes are tip of your nose. First exercise, very powerful. If at any point it becomes a little overwhelming, feel free to just relax, meditate, even lay down if you want. Second exercise, strange. First exercise, powerful. Third exercise, deep. The first one, you're going to have your thumbs to the mound of your pinky finger. That's your Mercury. And so that's called the Mercury mound. The thumb presses into the Mercury mound. And then the pinky and ring, that's Mercury and Sun, hold down the thumb. And the two big planets, Jupiter and Saturn, are out. And they go like this. Point at each other. Eyes, tip of your nose. Here's what's going to happen. You're going to exhale so powerfully that it causes your nose to wrinkle. And it goes like this. Did my nose wrinkle? Let me try again. Yeah. Who would have thought you're going to anti-aging by wrinkling? All right, so out the nose. Then, through the O-shaped mouth, you take a deep inhale like, and then, all right? Hey, listen up. It's not here. It's boom. You're pointing at 90 degrees. It's also not this. It's more like a warrior exercise. It's go. That's perfect. Just what's happening. Let it happen. The exhale's so powerful, your nose wrinkles. Then the deep inhale through the O mouth. Tip of the nose. Like that. Powerful and deep. Seconds. Inhale deep. Now lock your back molars, squeeze the spine, and squeeze every fiber of the body. Exhale. Deep inhale. Lock the molars, close the eyes, squeeze every fiber, the entire fabric of the body. And like a cannon, exhale. One more inhale. Rectum, sex organ, navel, chest out. Lock the molars. Tighten the whole physical body and move its energy. Exhale. Now meditate. Take your hands, same mudra, but this time the thumb holds those two fingers down. Thumb is held down by pinky and ring finger. Pinky and ring are held down by thumb. Alright, ready? Now, this next exercise is going to prevent us from hearing how awesome this song is. Yet we must do it. So what's going to happen is you're going to go outward circles that are really quick. And what's going to happen is you make an O-shaped mouth, and it's a diaphragmatic breath that sounds like a baboon, like a it's like that. Now, the speed of the diaphragm is said to be as quick as a hummingbird's wings. So if you find your diaphragm's going faster than a hummingbird's wings, slow down. All right, that's what it is. Tip of the nose. Do your best. It's like quick. You see upper arms are close to the body. Then you can generate force, centrifugal force. That's Ida Pingala, negative, positive. That'll give you magnetism. O-shaped mouth. The nose. Keep your upper arms close to the body and like move it. Keep the root lock lifted up. Lift through the rectum, sex organ area. Strong core. 25 seconds. Of the nose. Inhale. Press your two lips together. Lift through the root lock. Squeeze the body tight. Exhale. Deep inhale. Press the two lips together. Squeeze the body tight. Exhale. Inhale. Squeeze. So it shakes, you squeeze. Exhale. Amazing. Relax. Just one more exercise. This one is non-moving, but maybe the most challenging of the three. It's only 3 minutes. Same mudra like that. Thumb holds down, pinky ring. Now remember, after this, you're going to lay down on your back and go, ah. So, like that. And then your inner elbows twist up towards the sky. Chest out. You see what I mean? The inner side of the elbow twists up towards the ceiling. So if you want to think of it another way, you could say, I'm trying to get the palm side of my hand to go up towards the ceiling and then all the way to face the wall behind me. Right? I can't, but that's where I'm going with it. Making sense? It'll change the serum in your spine. This is like a very deep energetic spinal adjustment. It's difficult. Tip of the nose. Keep your chest lifted and your shoulder blades released. And do your best. It will work you. You're not working it. You're just holding it. And then it will work you. Tip of the nose, breath long, slow, and deep. And the battle will begin between you and your mind. Breathe deep. The more difficult it becomes, the deeper the breath. Listen, it's not a very long exercise. Try not to think of the time, just think of the breath. And do this well, change the serum of your spine, give you renewed youthfulness and glow, and the mind a great sense of awakeness. Deeper the breath, concentrate. Seconds. No bend in the elbow. Fingertip to fingertip. Stretch out. Touch the walls in each side of the room. Shaking is okay. Better to shake now than not be able to stop later in life. Inhale deep, hold the posture. Lock your molars, squeeze the spine, and twist the elbows to their maximum. Hold the posture, exhale. Deepest inhale. Rectum, sex organ, navel. Now twist the elbows to the max. Lock the molars, it'll adjust your cranium. Posture, exhale. Inhale. Root lock in, spine tight, elbows twist, lock the molars, adjust the plates of the skull. Twist the elbows. Slowly relax into a meditative space. To your backs, relax. your fingers, toes. Rotate the wrists, ankles. Rub the palms, rub the soles of the feet, and make some heat. And then cat stretch each side. Hug the knees to the chest. And rock and roll a couple times to come up. Satnam. So we'll take a real short, like 5-minute break. Just walk around, do whatever you want, use the restroom, and then we'll do the finale, opening the 10th gate. And Satnam. Nice work. Okay. Idea of the 10th gate is well, you have 9 main gates. Yeah, 2 eyes, 2 ears, the holes. Yogi Bhajan was fond of saying, if you have 9 holes, you're holy. But what really makes one holy, so to speak, is when you have the consciousness, awareness around what's coming in and out of those 9 holes. That makes sense, right? Your 5 senses are the avenues of consciousness. But then via those 9 gates, you interact with life. Energy coming in, energy going out, and so forth. And that gets metabolized. Whatever comes in is metabolized, then projected back out as your presence, essentially. That's in relationship to earlier when we were talking about what is the sense of what you are, your sense of identity. And then does this resonate with me? And so therefore, if you have a emotion that is bubbling up, can I get a little more volume on this? If I have an emotion that's coming up, what will dictate whether that emotion gains momentum, becomes a desire, and then a behavior, is if it is gripped on by the identity. I don't know if that makes sense. It does to me. I don't know if how I said it made sense in a way that makes sense to you. But in either way. So, in other words, if I have what we call like a negative emotion, say like a anger, Now, what that first is, before it's an emotion, it's a feeling. It's even more subtle than an emotion. And before it's a feeling, it's a thought, even more subtle than a feeling. And even before it's a thought, it's a vibration, even more subtle than a thought. And so what dictates that flow of thought, vibration, thought, feeling, emotion, desire, is essentially what is the life force conditions of the psyche, the organism. So whatever the environment, the life force environment that I'm operating with, is going to dictate the types of thoughts and feelings and emotions that tend to emerge most consistently in my experience. Make sense? So if you think of what this 10th gate is the crown chakra. You have 9 normal gates and then that 1/10th gate where the spirit, where the infinite, the non-dying part of you connects to life. So under normal circumstances, that 10th gate remains sealed, as the yogis say. But when Kundalini energy is starting to move in the organism and lifts up into the higher centers, it starts to unseal that 10th gate. And so now I have more connectivity to the non-dying force of my life. Make sense? So that's the part of me. That's really my goal as a human being, is to experience and become intimate with the part of myself that doesn't die. And that's the 10th. So when you're in the equinox space window, is you have where this equalization of light and dark happens. So these become very important little windows where you can make more progress in shorter amounts of time, essentially. It makes sense. Just like a full moon is a different effect on your psyche than a new moon or a half moon. So these are things that do matter, subtle things. But subtle things are some of the most powerful things. Your most powerful parts of you are your most subtle parts. Your parts that don't, there's a part of you that doesn't age. There's a part of you that doesn't die. And so when that subtlety of you and I, it starts to be able to emerge and express itself. It is never not there. It's just, do I have a vehicle that allows it to express itself into my experience, not anyone else's experience. The only way that my presence will be able to be, that type of a presence can be experienced by someone else, is if it's experienced by me. That's what changes a person's radiance, is when I have an experience of my substance, I have an experience of my brilliance, then that will flow out, and therefore others can have an experience of it too. But it always starts with, I'm having a more expansive, more substantive experience of myself, of what I am, whatever this is, and being very mindful to not have too tight of a grip on what I think I am, or this is, because whatever this is beyond the thinking mind's ability to comprehend it. And so it's a continuously unfolding process of like, what it is that I am. There's a certain part of us that's always known it. Even when we're young children, we've always had that sense of it. And so now it's opening up the channels of the subtle organism, the subtle body, so that life force can circulate into the evolved centers of the psyche. And so a large part of what Kundalini process really is, you could just say, is the process of human maturity. You know what I'm saying? So we start acting less like adolescents, in adult bodies. And therefore, you have the capacity to navigate life through intuitive mind, as opposed to just belief systems and opinions. We have the ability to actually, the emotional intelligence starts to develop, to where you can feel emotion without it dominating you. It's these simple things, but that are not easy. They're only easy once the conditions have stabilized to make it easy. As if the emotional body is still at any moment going to like erupt with a burst of anger, there's work to do, And so anger is not like bad energy. Anger is just fire energy. I would need to make sure that I'm working on myself to the extent that the fire energy that I have, in my case, it's a lot of fire energy, so that has a potential asset to it, but it also has a potential liability. The liability is it could be explosive. The asset to it is it can be very radiant and illuminating, potentially to me and others. You see? I got a good bit of earth and water. The asset, potential asset, is that can give me really I can ground that etheric energy, make it real. It can give me good stability. And you need good stability if you're going to move big energy, because otherwise it'll float away. Metaphorically speaking, space cadet-like. Hard to operate on planet Earth like that. The liability of that earth and water is you can get stuck, or you can get complacent, or you can get depressed. On the other side, you have some air and ether, not as much as some folks. Like my wife, who, that's all, you've been listening to her sing the whole class. And by the way, before I forget, November 9th? November 9th, 8th. Friday, November 8th, in San Francisco, they're playing Simrit. And it's a pretty transcendent experience, the Simrit concerts are. Yeah, it's great. It's kind of like this, but you don't have to do any of the kriyas. You just listen or dance, and you'll feel it's very similar though when you leave, like you feel out of this thing. It's real powerful. Anyhow, I don't know where they're playing, but it's on our website. We'll send it to you. So anyhow, what was I talking about? Air and ether, Simrit. So So that can be extremely like angelic or it can be totally anxiety. So it can be like a prayerful, elevated energy that like uplifts others. Or it can be so quick moving and out of rhythm that it causes insecurity, anxiety, overwhelm. 5 elements, as long as I'm in a human body, I'll always have to deal with them. So it's just taking care of the elements, taking care of the mind, taking care of the body, so that you can fulfill whatever it is you're here doing. And then that final breath is a good one, would be a nice prayer. You know, we don't always have control of certain things that make that, you know, like when you lie down after like a day where you've really lived well. You know, maybe you got really good work done. Maybe you had some fun. Maybe you laughed, you cried, you know, you sweat, you giggled, you know, you did all sorts. But a good day where then at the end of the day you're like looking forward to laying down. And you lay down and it feels so good to just like go to sleep. That would be the end. Nice, you know, how about that? It's the end of the life. All right, mission completion. Time to move on to the next world. And so now, if here's the beauty. If I'm working to develop that condition, that's the exact same condition that allows me to live well today. So preparation for a good death is also creating the conditions for a life of excellence. So it's not about ultimately some future time. It's about cultivation of now. Because that's the only thing that would create a good death. Cool. All right. So that's the 10th gate, you know, where the non-dying and the infinite and the finite connect. And so this is a great little meditation exercise experience. In total, it'll take about 20 minutes. The first part of it's very active. The second part of it's very still. It would not be like filed in the Kriyas where you're flipping through where it says easy. It doesn't get into that one, unfortunately. But it would get filed in the ones that say effective, you know. So just do your best, you know. Go on a journey with it. And see what happens, you know what I'm saying? If you have to rest or whatever, cool. What I would encourage you to do is to not disengage the meditative space. So if I can't keep the movement going, then how about I'll just like sit there and like hold space for myself and others. Because when you're in a group, it's exponentially more powerful, actually. Doesn't mean that, anyhow. Also, what's crucially important is you do things more often, not in a group, or at least as often not in a group. But when you do get into a group, you get an exponential boost. But there's a magic and there's a importance and a necessity of doing this work when also you're all by your lonesome. Because you'll develop a different type of grit that way. Okay, you ready? So your middle finger is going to touch your thumb, and then the ring finger goes on top of the middle finger, and then pinky and Jupiter are out like that. Okay? And so here we are again doing outward circles with our arms. Both those kriyas, pineal gland's crown chakra. The crown chakra away from you circles. Don't think too hard about it. And you see what I'm saying? But try to keep those upper arms close to you. And because and the core strength in, and you'll start generating a force. All right? And it's going. What did he say? That the speed of this one is 30 revolutions per second. They have a way of describing how to do things quickly. Okay? Your eyes will be closed, and you're going to go on a little journey. All right? Enjoy. Good luck to you. The breath will just happen. It's through the nose, and it'll just naturally get deeper as you're going. So close the eyes and start to circulate. Pineal gland. It's like the size of a grain of wheat in the center of the brain. And just behind the frontal lobe, which is the physical correlation to the crown chakra, the 1,000-petaled lotus, 10th gate. Your entire action in which you look wise and you act wise depends on the radiant frequency of the pineal. The pineal is a little stone like a size of a wheat in the center of the brain, just behind the frontal lobe. It has a moon cavity underneath which diverts itself upside down and unloads its secretion like ejaculation, and that does change a person from A to Z totally. And second, in our life, we want to know. And once the pineal radiance capacity clockwise and anti-clockwise starts creating balance, you will start knowing without knowing one word. It's called your inner voice. And when that happens, the pituitary, the master gland, the third eye, then causes all the endocrine glands to secrete properly. The chemistry of the blood changes. You feel a wave of blissfulness, and the whole body and your whole strength and the whole capacity will change. Now move. Keep your root lock in. Keep the upper arms near the rib cage and generate the centripetal force. Close the eyes. It's hypnotic. Revolutions per second, not 30 revolutions per minute. Let's go. Keep the shoulder blades relaxed down, chest lifted out. Your core is strengthened, and move. You'll find a groove, and once you find it, go and stay there, even when it becomes difficult and it tests your stamina. Dig in deeper. You'll hit a threshold where you feel like you cannot keep going. If at that time you focus, recommit, and breathe deeper, you'll move through that threshold. That's where the energy unlocks. So keep up. Really good. Keep it just going. It's an inner journey. Turbine generate. the mantra just vibrate in you. Keep going. Breathe. Pull up on your root lock. Minutes. Chest out, chin in, shoulders drop, root lock lifted, go, less than a minute. Exhale, touch your thumb to your pinky and bring your arms up 60 degrees. And gaze into the third eye. And concentrate on the pineal gland. A little rock in the center of the brain. The source of every thought. Concentrate on the pineal gland. No bend of the elbow. Concentrate pineal gland, center of the brain. Concentrate, center of the brain. Inhale. Bring your hands into your lap. Left hand into the right, thumbs touching. Statue status of your posture. Breathe long, slow and deep. Eyes closed. same posture, hands in the lap. Eyes closed, third eye. You'll be chanting using the tip of the tongue, which will interact with the roof of the mouth, the lips, the navel, the Vaheguru mantra 16 times per breath. Vaheguru. Enunciating. Inhale deep. Vaheguru, 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 Vaheguru. alerta, and be absolutely still. Exhale. Inhale. And go empty. Zero. Exhale. Inhale deep. Exhale. And take the hands to prayer pose. And bring someone you love very much, like your child or your mom or anyone, someone whom you do anything, give anything, and offer a prayer. And then take that same energy of the heart and then extend it out to all beings.
All love surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way on. May the long-time sun shine upon you. All love surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way on. May the long-time sun shine upon you. All love surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way on. Guide your way on. Guide your way on. Guide your way on. Guide your way
Sadnam. Satnam, thank you very much. Thanks for coming. Thank you, Leah, for helping making it happen. If you don't know Leah yet, she teaches here on Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. Monday, Wednesday, 4 p.m., Saturday, 10:45 a.m. Yeah, she's amazing. Her classes are packed, and so if you haven't done that, I encourage you. And also Life Force Academy. If you're not part of it yet, if you drop your email either on that paper or on our iPad, we'll give you a couple weeks free to try it out. And this class will be in there as of now, and you can revisit it, but there's so much other things. We start our next 40-day challenge in early October. It's called the Thunderbolt of Shiva. It's going to be real nice. And it's great. It's a cool experience. And I activated Siri.
I'm here.
I said Shiva, not Siri. All right. That's all I got, I think. Satnam, Satnam. Oh, yeah, Simrit again. Whatever, that Friday, November the 8th, 8th, Friday, 8th. Where is it at? It's at the Masonic Temple, Scottish Rite Temple. Scottish Rite Temple in San Francisco. Friday, November 8th.